Well, hello everybody. So today I wanted to look at some of these microphones that we got and just kind of compare in my own, for my own ears, and maybe while we're doing this, you get to hear as we do this, to see the quality of some of the microphones that are large diaphragm condenser microphones that require some phantom power. But I have one that is not. It's the Shure. So we'll finally get to that one. That will be last. So stick around for that one. So right now, what we got here is the newer, yes. And William bought a couple of these, and there is a myth out there that you can't take a microphone, any kind of microphone, and make it sound like a really fancy, expensive microphone. Well, I don't know if I can do that in post so much, but I bet I can. But I know that I did it in on the mixing board with this microphone. But right now, I wanted to hear this without any effect. This is basically going on this. So I got the a Rycote shock mount on there. This Rycote right here, and it's universal Envision USM universal studio mount. And so all of the microphones will be sitting in this little carriage here, and it's going straight into the Tascam DR70, and there's nothing going on except for maybe a little limiter. I think I still set on there a limiter. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, I think there's
there's a limiter. There's a little bit of limiter right there. So that's just so in case I get crazy loud, it'll chop it down a little bit. But there isn't. But then in a minute, let me give you the specs. So let's do this. While I give the specs, I'll see if I could fix it in post to sound like another microphone, one of the other ones.
Or maybe a little bit of
or I'll just sweeten it up a little bit, yeah. Okay, so the specs on here, I got a picture of this. So the technical parameters of this is, let's see. So we have, it's an omnidirectional. Frequency response is 20 hertz to 16 hertz. That's actually pretty good range. And the load impedance is 1000. Max sound pressures is 132 decibels, so you can record something that's quite loud.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
You don't have to worry about blowing it out.
Yeah, and it looks like it is it says omnidirectional, but it looks like a cardioid. If you look at the picture on the bottom, it looks like it's mainly sensitive in the front and not so much on the sides, and it rejects a little bit from the back. So this newer microphone is actually not that bad. It's actually, I think it sounds pretty decent. Okay, so that's that one, and the next one we're going to do is one by Natty. So let's get set up with that one. Okay, so let me check the. I have to turn it. I have to turn this one down a little bit. The sensitivity is a little bit higher.
You can already tell there's more bass inside of it.
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. So now this is the SCM 800 large diaphragm condenser microphone by Natty Systems. Now I'm a guitar player, and I remember Natty was a popular wireless guitar system. That was kind of cool back in the day. I don't know if they still do that, but yeah. So we used these in our podcast for a little bit, and
back when we used to use them.
Yeah, they're quite sensitive, but it seems like we had a very quiet room for it, but it does pick up echoes and things like that in a room. So you have to have a really special room.
Yeah.
But the specs on this guy. So it's the polar pattern is cardioid. The sensitivity is 40 dB, so not as the same as the Natty. Frequency range is 30 to 20,000 hertz. So does that mean 30? Does that mean it picks up lower frequencies? Is that why the bass in my voice is there when the newer didn't do that?
Possibly.
So just it can grab lower frequencies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mean the newer?
Yeah, the newer was I think the newer had a different lower frequency response.
So 20 hertz to 16 kilohertz.
Right. So 20 to 16, when this one's 30 to 20. Yeah. So it gets more lower and gets a little bit higher. Okay, so that's the difference there. Okay, and it's also a large diaphragm. Requires phantom power. I believe these are 2-inch diaphragms in each one.
Yeah.
Well, wait. 1 inch? I'm not sure. I read 2 inch somewhere. Maybe I was wrong. Yeah, the size, the diameter is 2 inch. I don't know if that's the actual deal inside the diaphragm. So that's that one. And Yeah, we used these for some time, and so this is without doing any effects to it, and truthfully, I don't think that I would really have to. But let's sweeten it up a little bit. See what happens if we do sweeten it up a little bit.
Yeah, I can already tell the difference between this one and the newer.
Right. So the SCM800 microphone. Just so you know, when I purchased this, I think it was about $60. So we'll set you back about $60 for this sound right here. That's not bad. It's pretty good.
The newers itself came with the little crane or arm table thing.
Yeah, came with everything.
Yeah, pop filter, shock mount, and the actual microphone itself, and those were $35.
Yeah, all that for $35.
Yeah.
And if all you got to do is take that EQ and kind of tweak it a little bit. I know that you can't bring bass in where there wasn't any bass, but hey, you put a big enough EQ on there, you could probably get it pretty good. I managed to make it sound really, really, really decent. All right, so that's what this is. So the Natties, I purchased 2 of them, and we got 2 of these. I keep smacking. That's breaking the rules. You can't smack the arm. So the newers, there's 2 of those. We got 2 Natties, but here's a mic that I've only got 1 of, and we'll get to that. Let's set that up real quick. Bang. So we got the Platinum Series. All right, guys. So now this is unedited, going straight into the Tascam 70D, DR70D, and I'm talking through the Audio Spectrum Platinum Series microphones, and this will set you back close to $300 when I got it. I don't know what the price goes for them now. Actually, I tried to look it up and I can't find it anymore, so it might be a rare item.
Yeah.
Personally,
sell it on eBay for $2,000.
Personally, I think this sounds very comparable to the Natties, which is amazing because the Natties were only $60.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's some specs on the side of it.
Frequency response, 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz.
Okay.
So,
to
the newer is 20 hertz to 16 kilohertz. This one's 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. Then the
Natties was, I think the Natty was 30, right? For the low?
I think it was like, 30 to 20.
Okay. Yeah, so it's about this. So Natty's 30 to 20. This one was what?
20 to 20.
20 to 20.
Yeah. Where the newer was only 20 to 16. So
okay, so this gets pretty crispy.
Yeah.
Pretty crispy in the highs,
so it does,
and around the same as the lows.
It does seem like it does have a little bit more of a bassier tone than
even though the frequency response doesn't say so. But that's weird. Yeah. That's interesting. So I did have to change the settings on the Tascam though. It needed it runs hot. So what I did, I had to drop it down to a medium gain, and that way I've got more play with the fader, so I got it in a nice spot. I don't think that introduces too much more noise, so that's good enough.
Yeah, it has an internal bass roll-off switch.
Right, and so I heard about that, and I haven't needed to do that. But if you crack it open, you can turn bass roll-off in there. Too bad they didn't make it just a switch on the outside, so you can roll off the bass if you wanted to. Who knows? Maybe it's set to off right now. And you can turn it back on and it'll get even bassier, which I don't think I need it to be more bassy, but you never, some people's voice, you might need that.
For someone like me, it would just definitely be nice to have a little bit more bass.
Yeah, so we used this in the podcast for about a year. You know, one of us had it. We had a couple of Natties running, and one of us had this. And I think it makes, for basically everyone who used it, their voice sounded really nice on it in our podcast. So that's a nice thing to know, that this mic makes everybody sound really good. It's just really nice. It's a good podcasting mic as long as you've got a silent room and you're not getting some really nasty crosstalk from the other person's their voice spilling into this mic. So that's really good. So there's the quality there. Now let's see if we could sweeten it up a little bit. Let me read something off the box, and while I've done maybe a little EQ, a little compressor, or some sweetening. So let's go. So it is a cardioid pattern, and like William said, the frequency response is 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. The impedance is 200 ohm. The sensitivity is 12 mx/PA. So basically, we got 38 dB. Yeah, and then internal bass roll-off switch, and it includes the mic stand mount, which is actually quite clever. So if you have an ordinary microphone stand and you don't have one of these shock mounts like this, I mean, it's not a shock mount, but
yeah, but it holds it.
But it holds it, yeah. So it just rests right into the stand, and then it screws right in there and puts it right where it needs to be. Mm-hmm. It's kind of nice that they did that. They didn't have to.
Nope. Okay, tough. Hold it.
Yeah. All right. So, keep more fouls. I'll keep banging this thing. All right. So the next mic is going to be a dynamic mic. Let's get to that one.
Yeah.
All right.
No phantom power.
So yeah, now we're doing the dynamic mic. 3, 2, 1. All right, now we're all checked in here. So what we got going on here now is the Shure SM48. Now you've all heard of the Shure SM57 and the Shure SM7B. Well, in the old band days, I was gifted a Shure SM48. I didn't know what it was, but sure did work good for vocals in the band. And we decided to give it a try in the podcast, and it sounded so good, so I bought a brand new one. So we have two, and this is what it sounds like. Now it's a dynamic mic. And we got all the specs on it. It didn't come with much specs. If it did, I lost it.
Is that the box for it?
That's the box, but it doesn't say much. But I did find it on my iPhone. So it's a dynamic mic. The polar pattern is cardioid. The frequency response is 55 hertz to 14 kilohertz. So does that mean it gets pretty low? It catches some really low stuff.
What was that again?
55 hertz. The other ones were 30 and 20.
Well, it's a higher number. I'm assuming that it doesn't quite catch as low.
Maybe it catches more low. Yeah, well, I think it sounds really nice.
Yeah,
the output impedance is 150. It's an XLR. The weight of it's only 0.82 of a pound, or whatever that means, 0.82 pounds.
Yeah, they feel
they're pretty
heavy though.
They say they're pretty indestructible. You know.
Yeah, it definitely seems heavier than the newer.
I feel like I could throw this microphone at a wall or at somebody, and they'll get hurt, but the microphone will be fine. If I throw that newer, something's going to get dented, and some of the insides might get all.
It'll get his feelings hurt. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's that, and so lately we've been using the Shure SM48. Me and William have been using it in the podcast because with a pop filter. Because it catches our voice really nice, all the nuances of the voice really, really good, and it rejects really well from the sides. So if you have a room that has maybe an air conditioning running, you might get away with using this mic because it might not pick it up. And maybe you might have to use a little bit of noise canceling and your software maybe a little bit, but we haven't had much trouble. This is really, really good.
Yeah.
So
especially if you just stay nice and close to it.
Mm-hmm. Now, I like the quality of the. I'd like to try the SM58. If that's 58, I can't remember the number now. Oh, this is the 48, but this is like $39 or something. You know, this is super affordable. When the SM58, I think that's the one, looks exactly like it. It sounds maybe a little smoother, and but most of the time when you see somebody singing with a corded mic on stage, even for a concert, they're using one of these.
Yeah,
they are. There's a couple other ones that are really good for that because they has low handling noise, so you can handle the microphone. You don't hear a bunch of noises, so that's pretty good. So hey, now I got to hear it. I wanted to hear like back to back all of the cardioid phantom powered mics that we have compared to a dynamic. I've got a couple of other dynamic mics, but this is my favorite one. So there you go. That's it. So now, when we go and record something, it's like I feel like I just know a little bit better what mic to grab.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just a guess. Yeah. We educated ourselves, so that's pretty cool.
Did some practicing.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know now, not until post when you actually get to hear everything together.
Yeah.
Have a good idea which one.
Yeah, yeah.
And for whichever occasion, like this one, I think it works best for podcast.
What's so funny is that this is the it's around the same price as the newer, but the newer, they gave you everything. They gave you a boom arm and the all the things that you need. Yeah, pop filter, all the stuff that you need. But this one right here, all you get is the mic. They give you a nice little case though, a little pleather. I don't know, feels like leather. A little pouch to carry it in, a little gig pouch. So there's that for $39 or something.
That way,
like
if your indestructible mic ever falls on the ground, it'd be a little bit more indestructible when it's inside.
If you don't use it for the mic, it might work for holding some cables or something.
Yeah, you have. Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You have a little adapter.
Mic
piece,
adapter.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
for the boom.
That's really handy.
Whatever kind of boom pull you want.
That's a good idea. So yeah, I feel pretty good now about doing that. I'm glad that we did. So now you're a little bit educated as well, hopefully, on some of the differences and kind of like in price too. So that's all we got for now. Thanks, William, for helping me out.
Yeah, no problem.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Later.